video. This is of the Rakon Heli frame, and it's the glimpse frame, which is the SKU number is GLM980Y. Let me tell you what I wound up doing. I didn't actually go out and purchase the glimpse to transfer all the electronics to it. What I wound up using was this 107C. This is the one that has the 8mm motors and has the camera. I alleviated the camera from the transplant because I just didn't care for the quality of the footage of the camera and just to take off the extra weight. So now, as far as getting back to the frame itself, 3/4 of the frame is already put together when you take it out of the stock box. All you get is the frame, no decals, and you get the arms. And the arms are already put together, so really all you have to do is set them inside and loosen the tension screw and loosen the top screw and the bottom, slide your arm in, tighten them down, and it's all back together. Now, in order to put the electronics from to this, you're going to have to remove the top. So you're just going to have to remove the 6 screws, take your top plate off, and at that point you can see right inside here I have the motherboard off the Hubsan. Now you just have to make sure about your orientation. It's easy to remember which side is which because your battery lead will come out of the rear. Now the glimpse, it's made to fly like this, but unfortunately this don't fly like that. So it flies just as good, if not better. I haven't flown the glimpse myself, but you know, it's just another quad in my eyes. And here, all you really have to do is extend the motor wire from the board to your motor. Very simple to do if you have a little bit of soldering skill. You don't really even have to solder if you don't have any soldering skills. You could just strip back the wires just a little bit, tie them together, put a little bit of electrical tape. That's for the people that don't like to do the soldering. So other than that, that's pretty much about it. They're 8mm motors, and the wires for the LEDs are long enough, so you have no problem getting the wires all the way through to right where the motor is. And I will turn this on here so you can see the LEDs. Make sure my polarity's right. And I got the red in the rear and the purple in the front. And if you could see, the board has purple lights, so when it gets initiated, both of them 2 lights inside the canopy, or inside between the 2 plates, light up, and it looks good. It sort of kind of complements the 2 lights in the front. So really there's not much to this transplant other than taking out a few screws out of the stock body, and I use 3M tape to hold the motherboard to the bottom of the carbon fiber, so none of the electronics are actually touching the carbon fiber. And that is pretty much about it to it. There's not much that you really need to do other than extend the 2 wires going to it. So you do have an option of spending a lot less. The glimpse, I believe, is an FPV setup. I believe it's $149, and here you can get one of these for damn near nothing. So the parts are much cheaper, and the motors are cheaper. And my next upgrade will be upgrading the motors to a Micromotor Warehouse motors, and getting myself some good coreless motors made by Micromotor Warehouse. And this thing should be a beast. Now, as far as the prop size, I think they could be a tad bigger, but it does fly, and it flies very, very well. And you can see the size difference compared to the actual Rakon Heli frame. So it's a considerable amount of difference between the distance between your from prop to prop. And the distance between the two, I'll grab my micrometer here, and we'll see what we have as far as distance. Now from center to center, you're roughly looking at 91 millimeters from the Hubsan up to 136.22 millimeters. So that's a considerable difference. Now, the flying characteristics on second mode, flying it with the stock controller, because there are two modes on this, and it cannot be bound to a DX6 or to any Spectrum radio, so basically you are stuck using this stock controller, at least that I know of. But if you know any different, please let me know. Now, as far as the second mode in the characteristics of how it flies, as you start to descend, it starts to have a little bit of a wobble, because the rates are a lot more. I mean, you're getting a lot more movement. You're getting a little faster yaw. Your pitch and everything is a lot more dramatic. But in mode 1, it flies flawless, and you get about the same amount of time. And the batteries that I'm using are the stock batteries that would either fit into that Hubsan 107C, and I've used bigger batteries as well, so, and it can hold it just as good. So other than that, that's pretty much about it. I wish I could say more about it, other than the quality of this this frame is just as good as the 350, the 200, the 250. All the Rakon products are just top quality machinery, top quality carbon fiber. Again, you don't have to mess with as many small screws as we are all noted for on the Rakon frames. That can be very troublesome for people that have big fingers, and dexterity isn't as good as it used to be. But this was a very easy build. It was fun. I had this all switched over in less than 20 minutes and up and flying. So, and check it out. It's the GLM980Y made by Rakon Heli. Thank you very much for viewing. Happy flying. Keep it in the air.